Some mornings I envy the sleepwalkers, those sluggish bodies moving in borrowed beliefs, faces stitched from slogans, souls smothered by the lullaby of belonging. They smile in borrowed mirrors and wear names that never quite fit, but fit enough for parties, for pews and profiles. They bend their backs to belong, lie to themselves in little lovely ways. I'm happy here. This is fine. This is who I've always been. And the lies grow roots. The roots grow rooms, and the rooms feel like home. They lie to themselves until the lie becomes a light and a false dawn in a windowless world. They fill the empty self with the other, the church, the couple, the company, creed. Some days I think that it has to be the great modern tragedy to live disingenuous and die that way, to be buried in a borrowed name, remembered for a version of you that never actually lived. Some days I think maybe that's a happier life. Maybe blissful ignorance is a softer coffin. I know the pain of not belonging, the ache of alienation like frost in the bones, that bone deep burn of being the wrong shape for the shared story, that thin needling static between me and every us, the pain of confusion, of standing in a crowded room and still feeling like a question no one can answer. I watch people mold themselves into the mold, to trade truth for togetherness, authenticity for acceptance. Part of me is horrified. Part of me is hungry. I can't lie to myself. That stubborn streak has cost me too much softness. So much softness. Again, so many people lie to themselves. So many people don't know themselves. They don't even know that they don't know. How can they recognize what I am if they've never sat with what they are? So many people trade who I am for who you need me to be. I am not built for that bargain. It's hard to be unwilling to compromise the self, to refuse the costume when it comes with company. Hard to watch the world applaud the ones who do. Harder still to live without applause. Some days I don't know if it's worth it. This harder life choosing not to sell your soul for a seat at the table. To say, I won't pretend, even if pretending buys you people and peace. To live unmasked in a carnival mirror masquerade. Blissful ignorance. I turn it over in my tongue. Sweet and stupid and safe. I can't lie to myself. My mind mutinies, my heart hollers, and my bones know better. I can't lie to myself. That's why I'm not a Christian. I wish I could be. It would make dying so much easier, like booking a return ticket instead of a one-way fall. It would also make living easier, I think. Less random, less raw, less sharp around the edges. It would change my life. If I knew in my heart that there was a higher purpose, I'd throw myself into it without hesitation, a cannonball of conviction into holy water. I have a devotion in my heart that's greater than anything else within me. A tidal pull of purpose, a hunger to give myself away, and nothing to devote myself to. I have the heart of a martyr, and no altar to pray at, no cause to die for, and no cross to die on. The great modern tragedy, those who die without knowing themselves. I mourn the millions who never meet themselves, souls suffocating beneath the weight of we, pressed down like wet cement over a whispered me. There's no malice in it. It's just the machinery of modern life, the painful pounds of belonging pressing down until the bones of self crack. It's just the reality of the world. So much of our life dictated by being told who we are until the telling becomes truth. Algorithms, ad campaigns, parents, pastors, partners, peers, each pressing their fingertips into the wet clay of us. We are told who we are until we believe it. Belief becomes bondage. Bondage becomes comfort. I don't resent it. I just grieve it. A slow funeral for the forgotten I. A funeral for all the lives lived on autopilot, for all the hearts that never got to hear their own voice without the chorus drowning it out. A mourning of all the people who have died without knowing themselves, who were loved for masks and buried in disguises. A mourning for all those souls who are suffocating under the weight of the collective, the pressure of we crushing the fragile I. I am just a man, one in billions. A single pixel in a burning screen, a quiet question and a chorus of certainty. They talk of peace in just being enough, and part of me listens with longing, and part with envy, part with disbelief. I'm told that there's comfort in that. I'm just one in a crowd. I need not be great nor world changing. I can just be me, and that's enough. I'm told that I should find a lot of comfort in that. I'm glad it comforts someone, but that's not my heart. There is something inside me that yearns to be singular, to be known and loved and chosen and significant and world changing, even in a small way. I want this small circle that sees me and says, of all the billions, we choose you. I don't want to be just another warm body in a room. I want to be a story, a strange, specific story in the book of someone's life. I've had to change for people to love me. Folded edges, dulled teeth, quieted questions, camouflaged my chaos to make peace with company. Peace feels like pretending, and pretending feels like death. I dream of devotion, to pour my purpose into something living, a wife, a child, a cause that breathes, a quiet house with loud laughter, a kitchen full of crumbs and questions, and small hands tugging at my sleeve. That feels like a worthy endeavor, a temple built of tenderness, a daily resurrection of purpose and presence. But being myself makes it difficult to be known. This stubborn authenticity, this honest alienation, this refusal to wear the wrong skin. I come unmasked and have been mistaken for a monster. To be fully seen is to risk being fully refused. I show up with my whole self on my sleeve, and I couldn't live any other way. But to push that down, to throw it out in order to attain it, feels like an abandonment of everything. The ultimate irony, mutilating the self to be loved for who you are. Those who have the privilege of partnership, those who have something I don't but desperately want, they speak of a presence, a peace to this existential unbelonging, a sense of settledness I can't yet taste. I'm still adrift in the great sea that I'm told is full of fish, casting lines made of language, lowering bait made of honesty, watching that glassy ocean and hoping for a ripple. They tell me the thing I want most only comes when I no longer need it, another great tragedy, a cosmic catch 22 wrapped in human ache. I want connection, but cannot counterfeit it. I want love, but not the kind that comes with conditions carved into conformity. Oh, to live true to yourself, even if it means living alone. Is it worth it? Or is it better to convince yourself you're just like everyone else so that you can be accepted? I fear that what I am is unlovable, unromantically lovable, undesirable. I've learned myself too well to lie anymore. My standards are sky high and my offerings are too small. I'm desperate and picky at the same time, self aware enough to see the shape of my loneliness and self conscious enough to blame myself for it. I want too much and am too much wanting. A paradox with a pulse, a double edged sheep among wolves. I stand apart because I've asked the questions, and then I stand alone because of the answers. I laugh at the irony, the pride of self knowledge, a strange superiority paired with the shame of solitude. For if I am such a rare relic, why does no one rush to claim me? If I were indeed so great, surely I would be wanted. Confidence is difficult for me, dancing between confidence and arrogance and humility and self hate. They all dance with the same shoes, they all leave similar footprints, they all live in the same chest. One breath and I'm brilliant. The next, I'm broken. The next, I'm background noise in a world that won't stop shouting. I ping pong between I am too much and I am not enough. I bruise both walls and call it growth. I stand in the mirror and see a mosaic, shards of strength, flecks of fear, grout made of grit and grief. Is this a masterpiece or just a mess I've learned to frame? Oh, to live true to yourself, even if it means living alone. Is it worth it? To keep that sacred singular spark and sleep in a house of one? Or is it better to convince yourself you're just like everyone else, to be accepted, to be applauded, to be anesthetized, to dim your strange light to match the room, to call that compromise instead of surrender? These are the questions that keep me company when no one else does. Sometimes I wish I knew anything to do to try and fix it. This world, this loneliness, this loss of self, but we're So small comparatively, one in the billions, one small piece of a very large thing, and I am just a man. I can change my life, but I can't change the laws of this lonely universe that rewards pretending, punishes presence, and whispers that the safest way to be loved is to never truly arrive. So I stand in the doorway between two tragedies, on this narrow, necessary edge between the soft coffin of a life performed and the hard bed of a life authentic. On one side, blissful ignorance, lying to yourself long enough that you start to believe it, filling the empty self with the other until there's no room left to ask, who am I beneath the noise? On the other side, brutal honesty, living true to yourself even if it alienates you, walking with your own name when no one else knows how to pronounce it, carrying a martyr's heart with no altar, no cause, no cross, only a hope that one day you'll find a life worth burning for. I don't know which is worse, to die never knowing yourself or to know yourself deeply and still die unseen. But I know this: I cannot pretend. I cannot unknow what I know. I cannot sell my soul for softer sheets. I mourn the masses who never meet themselves, who marry masks and die never knowing their own names. I mourn myself too. For every day I stay awake in a world that rewards the dreamer only when he dreams what everyone else is dreaming, and still I stay. I stay in the tension, in the paradox, in the ache. I stay mourning the world that lies to itself. I stay mourning the man who refuses to. I stay with my questions and my contradictions. I stay with my craving to be singular and my terror of dying singular. I stay with my martyr heart beating for an altar that hasn't arrived yet. I stay with my standards and my hunger, my double edged soul and my black sheep body, my desperate, picky, particular love for a life that feels actually like mine. I stay. I stay unsure. I stay true. I stay waiting, always waiting for the day when living true to myself and being truly loved are not two separate roads, but the same, suddenly, blessedly shared path.